Thanks for tuning in. Today I am reinsulating and reinstalling vapor barrier belly paper on this manufactured home. These tips and techniques can be used on any post and pier foundation, any raised floor foundation. So here I am stringing the insulation under the sewer and water lines. That way they're insulated. The floor cavity on a manufactured home is considered conditioned space, so you want to get everything insulated the best you can, especially after you've had a water leak or any other repair. Try to bring your floor space back to as close as it was when it left the factory. So you can see here, I'm stretching my insulation, trying to get everything that is in the floor cavity covered with insulation, just so the home was be as most energy efficient as you can. Here you can see just stringing along, using whatever plumbing is there to actually hold the insulation up. I'll get a staple gun and staple as needed. And then here you can see, you can't see the metal ducting, but I'm trying to insulate it. So tear off a few pieces of Gorilla Tape, hang it from the metal ducting, and just wrap the insulation and hang it. So now my metal ducting is insulated as close to how it was when it arrived from the factory. Well, if you've gotten some value up to this point in the video, I'd ask you to hit subscribe, like. That'll tell me that you guys are enjoying the videos. Now I'm cutting small pieces to fit in at the ends, right off the I-beam, and between the I-beam and the metal floor ducting. You can't see it in the video, but it's there. You can see there, I'm just cutting some small pieces, fitting them in wherever I see anything, and just trying to finish it off and get everything in this area of the floor insulated. That way the home is going to run as energy efficient as possible. Now you'll see that I went ahead and insulated that area between the I-beam and the perimeter of the home. Didn't get my camera moved, so now I've cut my plastic and I'm starting to drape it, and I'll start at one end and start stapling it or gluing it. Today I use staples, my staple gun, just because there was plenty of area to affix the staples to. So I get it stretched, try to get it cut close to width before I get started, just so there's less waste, and so then I get it stretched up and I start working my way down. Granted, I covered the lens and the camera. There you go. And you can see, using my little handheld staple gun, it's a T50 9/16 staple. Now I'm going to grab my can of 3M Super 90 spray adhesive for the end that I couldn't get a staple into. So now I'm just going to loose areas, trying to get that sealed up the best I can, working my way around. Now we're going to switch around to a different angle, and you can see more. Now you can see from a different angle, just tucking up the vapor barrier that was left and any loose insulation, trying to get it tucked up and away. Now I got my plastic I'm stretching out. There again, I'll start at one end. I'll either staple it or glue it, so that way I have something to pull against, so I can get that as tight and form-fitting as possible. Sometimes you got to slice around hangers and different obstructions, and if it ends up leaving a gap, you just come back and add another patch to the top. The key here is to seal up the best you can to prevent as much air from escaping the floor system as possible. Now we're going to move up to an area of the house where there was a shower that had leaked. A shower drain was leaking. Got that fixed. Now we're going to re-insulate. I didn't make a video of fixing the drain. So here I am installing the insulation. Now I'm taking the existing fabric and pinning it up so it's not in the way. Use my Super 90. You can see how I try to cover everything as evenly as possible from the perimeter of the rim joist to the I-beam. Coat everything. It's okay to let it stand for a bit. It's going to actually make your job easier. If you let it tack up, sometimes I get impatient and end up paying for it because it makes more work. So, as you can see, I got it tacked up there. I'm just working my way down, trying to keep it flat and tight as best as possible. Now I'm just cutting some small pieces to fill in where Either I had to make a slit or a cut for an obstruction, or it didn't cover. There was a side cut for a myriad of reasons, but these small patches make finishing up, topping it off easy, and it's pretty straightforward. Now it's time to get the big area stretched out. So I'm starting in the back. There's an irregular shaped area back there, so start back there. You can see the glue. I'm spraying the glue over everything I can before I even start pulling the plastic out. That way it gives it time to tack up and just speeds the process along. As you can note on this particular project, that the tongue was still into the house, so it made for some fun working conditions, more crawling over stuff, but such is life and an average day for what I do. Now I'm cutting and rolling out a piece that's going to go between the I-beams, and I kind of guesstimate for the sag, so I leave it a little bit long because I can always come back and trim it. So you can see that I'm starting at one side, getting it tacked up either with glue or staples or both. And I try to pick a direction and go with it. A big part of doing this is looking at your obstructions and coming up with a directional plan on what direction you're going to start installing your plastic, vapor barrier, fabric, whatever you want to call it. But have a plan, have a direction. Go ahead and pull in that direction, and then finish off stapling up your plastic. That way it's nice and tight. Sometimes you got to use a foot to help up there, but get it pulled over and then you're done. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you on the next one.